Okay, now that we've built our flag, what we need to do is build our UVs and build a texture map. We can definitely use Substance, but I like to also use Photoshop on this one so I can plan out certain aspects. We're going to use opacity maps to create holes on the two corners and this middle part, where we can actually run a spline through an object like a wire, or hang it from like nails on the actual wall. So it's like a, you know, an object that we can stick on a wall somewhere or over a window just randomly. And it's a really cool piece, fun to build too. So Alt Q. What I'm going to do is go back over here to this one right here, which is our editable poly one. And I'm just going to put this. I want to make it to where it sits on the wall almost right away. So I'm going to put the bottom right there, because it could be anywhere in the world, and we want to give it the flexibility. Like what I mean by what I'm hinting at in that aspect, if we hang it on the wall and then make our pivot point down here, so if I go to pivot, right click and zero that out and put the pivot point there, when I go into Unity, that's where it's going to sit. Now when I drop it on a wall, it'll be like boop right there, and that's real fast and easy. And I like that, but I think it would be easier if we actually did this. Let's go ahead and affect the object only. I'll just slide that right there. Just place it. It doesn't, it's gonna hang, so it doesn't need to actually be on the ground, but it needs to be, there we go. W. I like it, so that works. So affect object will allow us to move our object to the pivot, or move it away from the pivot, or however we want to do it. It's just a little added fun thing. All right, there we go. Curtain, a flag, give a flag. Control A, flag, O. All right, so let's get the UV set up, and I want this to be basically as flat as possible, like it's an actual flag, right? So I'll go to UV maps. Since we made it from a spline, it's going to look like the spline object, which is who knows how it's going to do it. It looks like the way that it got extruded looking top to bottom. So let's go ahead and just, we can do a flattened mapping. I think it'll be kind of messy. That's not so bad. Let's test out some things first. Why don't we, let's make this fit for the screen. And hit Z. There we go. Right, that's not bad. I can work with that for sure, but let's try a planar projection. Okay, that's actually doable. So let's use that. All right, so if we do a texture checker, let's see how the map, right now, the image is very square on the map, and I don't want to use it like that. What I'm going to do is flatten this all out so that it becomes all, the mapping becomes all squiggly and squishy like it would be on the flag. So let's keep it going. Let's open this up. Go to vertex mode and just start flattening them out. Right? Pressing this button right here, the one that looks like a robot. Have those verts, and then we'll just do the same thing. We'll do the same thing here, but this time, instead of verse, because these items are so close and slanted, just double click, and I'm just going to slide this over, double click, and then you can space them out as you need to. It's tedious, but it's important. Doing it right will make a huge difference in your time and how much effort you need to put into it. Like if you just plan ahead with these things. Come on. Thank you. And that just takes practice. Wash, rinse, repeat. Think of another way you can build a curtain set and see how it goes. Explore the actual ideas that, like I keep suggesting, like we're not going to talk about, like the edit patches. I don't know who uses that stuff, but it's so cool. There we go. Good. Sweet. And that is what I want to see. Oh, let's go back here. Put that back on. This is what I want to see. Let's See, it's all flows with it. So it all looks like it's being mushed around by weight and gravity and wind and all that stuff. Fantastic. Collapse too. And all I did was just flatten it out. Save as. Takes a little bit of time, but it's okay. Walls 1, walls 2. Alright, so now what we need to do is export that boy out. So let's go ahead and reset the transforms, because we did scaling and pushing and prodding and poking and stuff. So there we go. Flag. Now, what I want to do with the unwrap on here, I'm going to take this image. I'm actually going to go ahead and just make it fit the entire thing. Why not? So now that I have that, what I can do is make the map the entire size of the actual space. If I want to add a wire would be fun. Let's do that real quick. And then we'll make it UVs. What time we have? Okay, we're perfect. So let's build a little, let's put a point there and a point there. And we'll just let the Bezier Alright, so this one, we'll put this one out. Boop. Now with this, the UVs are good, so I'm going to let that be for a second. So I collapse it down. I'm just going to have this sit as an overlap. And then this will be behind it too. So the hole can go right there. Now, we can start looking at how we're going to build this. So we're going to add a little fray to it. So we got a map idea, right? It's over here. Where'd you go? Wrong website. Got a map idea. So let's copy that image. So right click, copy image. Go into Photoshop. New file. Flag. 1. Hit Control V. Sweet. What we really want is just take Austin. Hell you. Copy, Control paste. So what I did was just select it using the marquee tool. I moved quickly. I'm going to try that again so you guys can see what I did. So copy the image here, and then when I hit new, it's going to take the measurement of the actual image itself. Well, we're going to actually make it, let's make it 512 so we can have some breathing room with pixels in the engine. So I'm doing 512 by 512 on a new image. 72 at the resolution for pixels per inch. Call this flag. I think I just did 01, so let's do 02. So that's flag 2 and it's flag 1. And then from here, we just get rid of flag 1. Nope. From here, with flag 02, I right click this here, go over here, hit Control V to paste that, and then hit Control T. I can actually get this guy in here in space. And since we just need to actually get the actual image, double click to get that in there. Go to Marquee tool, which is M on the keyboard, and you can just left click and drag and select your pixels. Hit Control C, then Control V to paste it. Then you can go to the Move tool, which is V on the keyboard. Move that around. We can hide you. And we can go ahead and plan this out like this, I believe, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to add the actual aspect of the coil, the wire to this item, so we'll put down here on the bottom. It's a real small image, so it's not really all that, like, not given a huge amount of importance at this moment. We can always upgrade by getting a bigger image or creating a better image, but this is going to sufficiently work for what we're doing. Let's do wire braid. Alright, so I'll find one that I can use. I don't need a lot because there's not much room. 512 pixels is not a lot. Perfect. Take that. I don't even, let's look at it. Yield. Copy image. Control V. Yeah. Let's rotate a little bit so it fits, and then we're just going to scale it. So double click on that. Control T. We're outside the actual image limitations. So whatever's outside here is going to just basically disappear. And we just want that. Badass. Cool. So let's make that an image we can take to 3ds Max. And then we're going to make, actually I'm going to make some changes here, but I'll show you what. So we'll save a copy. Save on my computer. Go, and we are in scenes. We want to go to textures. Flag 02. We're gonna make a Flag 02 Photoshop file, and then save another copy on the computer, and make it a JPEG. No, excuse me. We're gonna make it a PNG. Yep. And then make a Flag 2. Bam. And then we want to have it just large. That's fine. All right. So. Saving it. Excuse me. There we go. Save the scene. There we go. Okay. We had that. We have an image here. So let's take this and let's get it all set up. Oh yeah, the wire. Before we go forward, we need to do a couple things first. Turn on rendering. And we don't need a lot of detail. It's got 12 sides, 12 segments, like a cylinder. We don't need that. 6 will work. It's great. Turn on generate mapping coordinates. It'll help your life, I promise. Unwrap this bad boy, because what the generate mapping coordinates is gives us this mapping setup. So with the spline, you want to make sure that you enable in viewport, and then we want to turn on generate mapping coordinates. If we don't, let's see what happens. This is with it on. Cylindrical, very straightforward. I can figure out what's going on. Go down here, go back down the line and turn off generate mapping coordinates. Go on unwrap. I'm going to reset the UVs and open them. And that's no. So we'll let the software help us out. Generate mapping coordinates. So I'm going to reset the UVs. And then I'm going to open it up, and that's yes. Now it's thin, doesn't have to, I'm not sure which side is which in terms of orientation. So the way I would choose to find this would be go to here, up 3. Alright, so that's the lengthwise, great. So I can just do this. It's wire, and I know that the orientation of my map I set up this way, so it's over here somewhere. Good enough for me right now. Now when we collapse this, it's going to make it an editable mesh. We want to make it an editable poly. So I just right click again and just select editable poly. This guy's an editable poly. He's got UV, so let's go ahead and attach the wire. Now the flag and the wire are one thing. We can add nails down the road and all this stuff using more splines. And it's not hard, just take some time. I just want to kind of quickly get this tutorial through. So there's our basic flag object. We can export this bad boy out. So let's check the UVs. Do you need to fix that? They're basically right here on top of each other, and we don't want overlapping, and we don't want to leave the 1-1 space. What we want to do, scale them together so they fit. Bam. Collapse 2. So we can test this. Let's take these bad boys off, and let's add in our texture, flag 2. So there's that. Applied. And there's our map. There's our flag. Oh, gotta fix that. Unwrap. Then we need to show our image. Oh, we need to just put our flag. Oh, that's easy. Stretch that right there. All right, we're going to add holes in the very next video.